The order of the Board of Park Commissioners, February 27th, 2025. Who in minutes? Make motion to approve the meeting minutes for 116. All in favor? Rob? Question? Me? Yes. Public comment? Pete, do you have a public comment or you have something?
Yes, yeah, Kelly Field.
Okay. I didn't put it.
Well, 2 weeks ago, I was told, 3 weeks ago, sorry, that would have an update. So now we're a week behind from that goal that they told me. So, yeah, they said you're gonna hear within 2 weeks. We're going on 3 weeks.
We already passed over here.
We'll pass over the year February 14th. Yeah, but could happen today. At least I got the confirmation that it was coming. So that's all I have. I'm sorry. I wish they're a very secretive organization. So.
Task force.
Bonnie and I met with them. That was like 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Yes, it was probably about 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Just a little bit of background. Task force to be on. Like, my wife was on the youth task force probably for like a year, and then, you know, I don't really know exactly their mission. Obviously, when I was there, there's one team on board, but they keep talking about like team programming and things like that. So I thought it was useful to like go to the meeting, but I was a little disappointed in the representation that was around the youth task force.
You mean just one team?
There was only one team, and then my wife since had moved on. But you know, I also know that there were improvements and people and more appointments. So I don't know. I think it would be good in the future to get like a representative from the parks on there, but maybe we need to have a discussion with other town leadership to get a representative from the parks on there so that they're intermixed and kind of know what's going to happen, because I don't really what like the force ahead is, you know. And so I know that there's been talk about like getting programming the firehouse, but there's challenges to that. It's been, you know, so Bonnie gave them like kind of the brief, right. So
yeah,
it's just something to think about. I think as we go forward, maybe we can email select board or somebody who creates those appointments, because I also know that there's just vacancies on that board. So I think it would be good for a park representative to sit on.
Are they looking for like stuff to do at night for like high school kids? Is that there?
Yeah. So I was it was more for like high school kids. So I think on that board too, they're supposed to have 3 high school kids, and there's 1 kid right now. And I think in the past they had more, but I also think it's for high school kids for little kids.
yeah. I felt bad because he could tell he was clearly frustrated because, you know, like he was just the one on the board, and he's been to these meetings. I think he's been consistent in going to the meetings when they do have them. And, you know, we talk about, and not much, you know, comes from it because, again, we're limited, you know, so it's frustration.
Right.
Yeah, it's like where to have it. Like what building, you know, if you want to do something for high school students, so like at the teen center, we have a teen center coordinator, but all the staff is high school kids. So you can't have high school kids watching high school kids, you know, if we got to that point.
Yeah, we'd have to hire, and I think we discussed that, you'd have to hire a teen coordinator that would work at night, you know, that would be able, or a consistent volunteer, but that can always be a little unpredictable, you know, so.
So is this
It's a good question.
Is this something that needs to be voted by? We can just decide if we want to do it. How would it look?
I just put it on the agenda because
Yeah.
for me personally, I just see I see that committee just erode, right? And like, to be honest, I have a crazy busy schedule too. My wife's like, this committee's doing nothing, right? So it's also like finding someone who's passionate about to be on there and put the right people on it.
Right.
And I was actually surprised that someone with the parks wasn't on the committee, similar to how we have the CPC where you have people on.
I believe Scott was
Yeah.
on there.
When it
When,
first started.
yes,
I helped it form. I was on it with Scott.
yes.
First started it, started floating the ideas around building youth centers, thinking of all these sites before we got to the church and then, pandemic. It's changed a lot.
It's changed a lot, like the pandemic hit, and now it's like really.
Right.
Maybe the way we could start this is we could have, if or when they have the next meeting, if someone could go, it's just like a liaison. So I think what happens is sometimes with the committees, they don't know this stuff the parks is already doing, some of our limitations. So maybe not get one of us there at every meeting or consistent if they're not having their own consistent meetings yet, but there once, maybe hear some of the ideas they have, roadblocks or any concerns they have and express them like we are. I think we've talked, we would love to have team programs, but we're really limited in where. And to build team programming right now will take us a while because we have to get the teams interested, right? Like I think we've talked, like I would love if the Cunningham Park would team swim during the summer, but they would have to build like the trust with the kids to get them all to start coming because they're not used to going to use the pool. But it's a good opportunity. So maybe there's opportunities like that around town. It takes a long time to task force that to attack. So, Rob, maybe if you find out when the next meeting is,
I mean, they reached, like Rachel reached out.
Yeah.
So they'll get to the last one. So I put her in touch with Bonnie. I'm just here as a conduit, you know?
Right.
But I'm
right.
like, listen, I also don't want the committee just to be a committee to do nothing. So I think.
So if you find out when the committee is,
Yeah.
if you guys are okay.
Yeah.
So we decide we actually need to be, that person would need to be appointed by the select board. Because they appoint, you know,
We decide.
yeah,
Well,
Yeah, it's appointed by the select.
right.
but, so I should still go to the next.
I think we should get in touch with the select board and say that you're interested. I think it's a good opportunity. And then I think that they would appoint you basically to it for like more full time, then that would get some energy around that, I think. But also, we'll find out. I know Rachel pretty well. And so I can just find out what this meeting is. And then hopefully they get it. You know, I think there just needs to be some energy around that board personally. I mean, I was disappointed. 2 people on the board.
Right.
And I think it's fantastic. So
Was there anybody from the schools representing any of the schools? Which is what we always.
schools was never school. Yeah, so I mean there's a discussion.
that's the other
I feel like you need people that are on that board that are on other boards. Someone from the school, someone from the parks.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
Different baskets just so that it can be. So maybe, you know, I'm happy just to write an email that said we spoke about it. We'd like you to get get appointed to it. And if we can put I will let you know about the next meeting. Because I think now it's gonna be more regular. You know, or you reach out to see. But they would have to appoint you longer term, but maybe it's easier just to like go to a meeting first. See.
Is there still a line item in the budget for youth in the police department?
No.
There always was. You know, there was a youth department, Vicky McCarthy, and then the youth department was transferred to the police department. Came out of their budget. There was a line item for youth. I don't know what.
Remember the guy Max Corbett?
Yeah, that's before Vicky.
Yeah, he was it. Like he was the youth coordinator.
Right. And he had a department.
He did a really good job.
He did a great job. And then,
What did he do?
he retired.
When?
He ran program.
Programming up
What
at
was he-
Cunningham, high school kids. Weekends.
Well, there's a resource officer that's back there now, community resource officer, so that might be,
Paid out of that budget.
I
It's a good
probably,
budget.
I haven't looked, you know, to see where that's
Police
coming. That's that Jordan thing.
Parks, police and schools, there's a
Yeah.
logical thing, and then maybe somebody,
Yeah.
there's a church, somebody from the whatever they call it, the
Coalition.
congregation, the coordinating committee for the parishes around, I can't remember the name of it.
No, we have been in talks with him, and we're gonna do a couple programs
But if
and
it's
join
gonna
with
be-
them so we can have that part of the conversation.
My opinion is that, well, it's tough to do this for whatever reason. I think some of the people work in parts of the country, but for whatever reason, they just don't. I don't know, maybe like volunteer. Get these task force behind what they're called.
Yeah.
Get 30 kids to come out and volunteer or whatever, the book. And we'll just, whatever we find costs, I think that way to get these together.
The
So,
food pantry.
you task force on this Saturday, we're gonna start volunteering. Whatever, so, I'll go.
Okay, great.
I love that Blue Hills, this weekend, they're celebrating the 75th anniversary, and they're gonna be open till midnight. With a band, or a DJ and, ski, yeah, it's like $25. Saturday night, yeah, they're doing something Friday night also, but they're gonna have a DJ and, all kinds of little things going on and races and,
Did they stand out with the schools?
Yeah,
yeah, they did, yeah. It's, I love the new management up there, they're doing a lot.
they have a great season.
They've had a great season. They've held a lot of events, and a lot of them are team driven also. So I've loved it. It's been great. Yeah.
CBC project updates, future actions, Kelly Field.
You're on.
As I guess the full board saw my letter making a recommendation, we got, earlier in February, we got bids in on the dugout project. We got 11 bids, which is amazing. I'll get that. And the low bidder was Folsom Corporation. We had $179,000 budget, but their low bid was $174,400. They're a really good company. They've done some work in Milton. They did the handicap access ramp for the library. They also did drainage work at Cunningham School. I've worked with them on a couple of projects in Quincy. I do a lot of work in Quincy, and I worked on there. And also I contacted the head of Parks Construction for Quincy, and he's done a lot of work with them. Every year they kind of have a set aside budget that they hire them to do, all kinds of work. Their biggest work is masonry and concrete, but they also do fencing and erect structures and do demolition excavation. So they've got all the requisite expertise. So I recommend that you guys approve them for a contract and go ahead to execute a contract in the amount of $174,400 to do the dugouts at Kelly Field. I just also want to note is I wasn't involved in the project, but I put together plans and specs. Mostly plans that you had worked on for the town bid project at no cost to the town. And I hope I'm done
No.
with this project. I will help, if you guys need something in the field, but as most, I was happy to do that, but I think my participation probably concluded.
Much appreciated.
I guess I have three questions. One is that representative, you put together pretty comprehensive specs, and so the equipment that we put in there was that they will be
using the beacon dugout packages
and all that. Okay. One question. The second question, does that fall more on you to the management of all this project? Yeah. Okay.
There shouldn't be a whole lot to it. There'll be submittal.
And then my last question, Pete, is the budget for that was 79,000 something. Will that money, the rest of that money, does that go back to the CPC? What is that? What happens with the rest of it?
Well, first of all, you got to get through the projects. If there's any change orders or any extra work that has to be done. If there's any kind of things that, well, I don't have to advertise everything because the advertising is done for this bids, so I don't know if there'll be any.
There is, you don't want to give it back.
A lot of time doing dugouts, the area around it gets kind of messed up.
And
So
there's some for like restoration.
you have to, you can put, if there is like 3,000 left, put it back into fixing the field
Right.
around that area.
I would encourage you to use some money.
So I'll make a motion to approve the Pete's recommendation of Bolton to do the dugout.
If known, he'll send out the board letter to them, and then we can get the contracts
What are we
executed.
looking at?
August, right?
August 1st, basically.
August, right? Good. It's like you said, if I'm,
It'll take.
hopefully August.
Yeah.
Hopefully one month.
You're gonna start?
Yeah, that's all.
Because of summer ball.
But they'll order their equipment and everything ahead of time.
And that's a good time with Kelly. It's kind of quiet there. Before soccer starts. So
But that, so this also means though, they still have the town meeting,
yes.
right? So they can.
No.
Even though-
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it does, because we, it has to pass with the CP. Oh, no, because that was a year.
This is
You're right, you're right.
yeah.
So they can, go. So they can start. Oh, that's great. Yeah, then that's perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got it. No, they can't do it now.
It-
It's too,
There's about a 12-week.
there's a 12-week lead time
to
to
order
get.
to get the equipment. You know, that's some of the-
you-
Yeah, we would be. Yeah. It's all right. We waited this long. We can move on.
Master plan.
All right, so the master plan, the update on the master plan. It had to go out. This project has to go out to RFP. I've been in contact with Kevin and Nick Milano. I drafted the RFP. Well, Nick drafted the RFP. I made a whole bunch of comments and edits on it. We met probably a month ago, again, to amend it. Nick sent it yesterday, so it's ready to go. The RFP to hit the streets to get it. To see if we get people to come back and issue that. So I'd like to make a motion to approve that RFP gets put out on the street.
Second. All in favor, motion?
Aye.
Okay. What's the time to run?
So I think it'll be about 30 days, something like that. And then, just so you guys know,
Can we, some of the companies right now?
yeah, so I think we'll like also put it, I mean, it's just like a public, like Pete put out, we could get 11, we could get people, but the difference is, I will say the difference between this exercise and what we did for the dugouts is you're looking for services, and what we need to do is it's established. So what will happen is once we get those bids back, it will also be under our control that they'll come in and we will vote who we believe. So it's a little bit different because we can then evaluate them, and we have evaluation criteria. So we don't necessarily need to take the next bid either. So we need to just make sure we pick the right consultant to do it, knowing our budget, being wise, but also they'll come before us and they'll tell us what. So I look forward to that, and we wanted to get it in early, and I wanted to make sure that we were all included too, so that we all have input too.
What is it about 60?
It's about 80. Yeah. It's about, I think it's around 80. So
Beverly Park.
Beverly Park plan. It's a good question. Did you put one? Who put that one? Did you? I did. You.
Last week, so we met with Boswell, Beverly Park playground people.
Who's doing the ice house?
Myself, to try to, I facilitated the meeting. So Beverly Park playground, nicely asking for. He knew it was coming. He was very, very nice about it. He was very nice. He said he could do one of two things. He said he could make a donation I won't tell you exactly how much it would be, but I can make a donation. Or what I suggest is I will offer the site work. I will donate at least $50,000 of site work. The rest I would do at cost. That's what these are. So it's pretty heavily playground people. I don't think they were real keen on the site work idea. I think they just want the money.
Take the site work. Right,
He stated several times over and over and over again that take the site work,
yeah,
take the site work. Huge cost, and Pete, you would have a better idea how much site work is or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't prepared the final plans.
that's the.
I've got the
It's a
scheme,
process.
they got it done, but they
And then you got to work with the actual installer. Whoever gets picked for that, right, and what they need for, like, I need you to sit down.
Usually the installer does everything. I did.
Yeah.
site work.
Yeah. But if they can get him and work with him and say, yeah, I need 10 inches taken out, crushed gravel brought in.
but it is gonna go to public bid. So
Correct.
They've got a long way to go on their fundraising.
Right.
Years.
Could be a.
Do we need
So-
to discuss them
That's where that.
on the invoice?
Yeah.
Legal fees? Sure.
Oh, yeah, and another part of that, they did, so they did have to hire a lawyer, a law office to submit the 5013C plan. And then they try to put the bill in with the money they've already received from CPC. But Pete, you can talk in this, that,
Well, when Julia Getman submitted the invoice to accounting said, you know, there's nothing in the award of them this money, the money, you know, money was awarded for construction, not for legal services, so they didn't feel they could pay it, and there's been back and forth about that, so what's been decided, with CPC and with accounting, Dick and everything, is that the CPC committee is recommending another grant award to them in this year's bunch that will go to town meeting in May. But when we describe the money, what that money's for, it'll say for construction and related costs. And that accounting will accept that invoice at the related costs and we can pay it then. So we reached out to Julie, was it?
Jack, Jackie, I let her know yesterday
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah, the committee did too, and she said waiting for them to respond.
Yeah.
What was it?
It's like 5,800 legal fees.
5,800.
She said she knew the law, and I'm like, you don't know the plan well.
That's a bit high.
I don't think legal is not.
That should be like
That's not-
$1,000
yeah,
thing.
That's a lot.
That seems like that's.
They took this and they said, oh.
We went to Jimmy Square.
They know something.
But that's, yeah, OTA bonding.
Yeah. It's 58.
Yeah, because we knew all this.
That's how much it said.
It cost nothing, because we knew it was.
I should have taken the time a little bit.
But I mean, it is work for somebody, but someone who was in this town. They would.
I mean, I think the issue is they need, you know, the money that the project will have to go out. I'm not sure whether to go up to the park department or the Concom and who decides who owns that property.
But to be on, oh yeah, it's gotta be in.
So the money will be held in the town. And the private fundraising, they got the 501c3 so they could get private fundraising
Right.
that is tax deductible, but that money will have to be transferred to the town in order to, you know, pay for the project. So the town will be putting it out.
But if they're a 501c3, could they get them directly?
Not from us.
Not from us, well, from what I'm saying is.
Yeah,
The
they-
PPC could, there's been precedent that if you're a 501c3 town, they could get the money to do it.
If it's work on town property, it's gotta be done by the town. We've been told, like, you know, I don't know that we've done any with the private
I think you would
people.
want.
I'm
It's
thinking
like
back to the
Mary C.
playground
Lane.
planners, and all the playgrounds that went down.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just have to see if that was Cause I know they also have one too, so I'm
And that
thinking
was
that
through
they
you.
were able
That
to.
was
Probably was through you. Well, like Andrews Field or Mercy Lane, the work that was done. I mean, you were involved in things like that, but
Yeah,
the
technicality, but
Yeah.
that,
money went through the town,
right,
although the
Milton
league
America.
really kind of
Right.
managed it all.
But that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about with the county. Like they, in the past year or two, on top of everything.
They're very,
So just,
they're very conservative.
Yeah. you know, people, it's not us saying no.
Basketball court. Alright, so I put this on because I heard from a few folks this week, about what's happening with it.
CPC was just.
So it was like the second year, right? And so I didn't realize.
The money is there.
So I didn't know, I guess they
Is
did.
this bucket that was the Kelly? Was that the same one? Was that?
I was in the same year, yeah. But so I guess the history of that was Nick put out, I think he probably just threw out a number, 75,000.
I didn't have any money to do
40,000. So now earmark, 40,000 earmark, and nothing's happened with it. I guess what I'm asking you guys is because I don't have familiarity. What would it take to make improvements there? So some of the things that I've heard, that's obviously like new baskets. Some of the feedback I got for Andrews was the fence isn't high enough, like they would want it higher. Skits are. And so I'm just curious, was there other estimate of anything that we would know what it would take? And do we think, I just went around there and looked at it. Like it's
There's a
leaving.
walkway, and that was part of it.
But is the pavement, like, does it need to be redone?
Yes.
Yes.
Graded, it's.
So the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it seems to me that's $1,000.
He is, he said they were originally given 75 and then they were only given 40, is that right?
They have
See,
their 75,
and they got 40.
Yeah, but because they're pulling on.
And he said, they're a little short right now, but I talked to them yesterday about this. They said they have every intention of doing that project over there.
Yeah, because it doesn't have the existing pavement, it's fine, they're just either do a repair or an overlay. They do need new uprights and things. And then there was question of, doing some kind of barrier so the ball doesn't go down into the street.
You do fencing on that side.
Or something like that.
Oh, just one side. They just, in painting, everything's not cheap. They just went, I think what they came up with was like 60,000, but it wouldn't really cost.
Well, so I think there's similar group of folks that are like, that were behind the play would be behind that. So if they could liaison, whatever it costs, if it is $60,000 or whatever, and they needed more money, they could go out and get private, get some $1,000 to see where it goes. I'm just curious, like, how's that even up? So, like, what's the history of it?
Well, it's I pulled it up on the GIS. It's technically called Fireman's Field.
Yeah.
And technically, I think originally was part of Firehouse, and it's all part of one big. Yeah.
It was called Firehouse Field. The original playground planners, they wanted to put a big playground up. They got permission from the select board to use that site for a big community-wide playground. Got all up and on. There was a contest to name it.
Yeah.
The kids at school.
Right.
The Firehouse Field was selected. And the day we started construction up there on the new field, there was a court injunction that stopped the construction. And
Back in the late 80s.
Right, that was a couple days ago.
Yeah.
when all the playgrounds were done, so we
Yeah.
took the money that we had raised for playground and put on the neighborhood playground there.
Yeah.
With that money, so because it's gonna be a big kind of elaborate playground up here. And so but it has been under the jurisdiction of the select board forever.
And that's where the Milton Youth Center used to be.
So,
That's
They have a building,
How was that taken out?
they took it out back, I was in. You do Skippy Library, just do boxing up there, yeah. Yeah, it was,
So we, why,
It was
why
a
did we
building.
get rid of all like, they got rid of all the cool kid stuff, and now we just
the
have.
building was called
Other fucking building books
the Milton Youth Center.
from up there.
We could
That's
use
true.
that, we could use that now.
Well, I guess
It would probably be MMA at this point.
it feels crazy to me that falls on this, that it's, when it's a park.
Yeah.
Well, it's not.
I mean, but it's a
Municipal property, right?
still in the facility, so.
Paul and I gave them a contractor that we've dealt with in Pete. And they reached out to them, everything ready to go, and then the price just got. So I think they just kind of put them to bed. But they are
I was hoping that, capital funds for it to get what they need.
intending.
Once again, I think it's communication, it's sitting there, it's been over a year, just $40,000 locked up. So like, let's move on it, right? And so I think what I'm gonna do to push that. So I put this up here. I think with the RFP, the master plan, and once that gets going, I think it would be good to get feedback on some of the buildings and such. Like town-wide public, but I think that's going to be. I know,
But you mean they're gonna do a survey?
I think they will end up doing a survey and mix that in with the facility. So I think we'll probably, we can control, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think it would be good. I mean, it opened my eyes like 2 months ago when Bonnie and I went to this health forum and the survey, a public survey came up and they saw the results. It's good to hear feedback from the public about our parks and rec. So that we can improve things and such. So I think it'll be a part of that in August. And to your point, like, I think once we go through this RFP and we meet with consultants, we talk to them, then we can control the survey. So as we go. So,
I believe a year or so ago, though, the health department or Impact put out, because it was through Tim Zawinski. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's 2 years ago. And that we were included in that, I don't know if we can pull in results from that or not. I don't want to be repetitive or one that's just focused on us, that's a different story, but we can look to see what's there also, I'm sure we could get access to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, Sam is down to Andrews, seeing who's out with nice weather. And there's a bunch of kids on the baseball field. I mean, basically standing in mud. I mean, it's a little league field. Thank God the other two were covered in snow, the softball and the real little field, little kids field. It's just stuff that we're gonna have to watch. You gotta let this dry out. I know leagues are jumping at the bit, but winter's far from over right now.
Everything's snow.
It is, and then we're gonna get another freeze. Yeah, it's just, yeah, so, that's where I'm at on that. Everything else is just,
Permits, full for.
everybody's good, yeah. We're really kind of early this year, but, and we've a lot of requests to rent fields from other places, and Bonnie got one yesterday. It's
Nobody has room.
people. I think every town's kind of in the same boat. Not every town, but a lot. They're looking for fields. They think Milton has plenty, but
Tell them to stay away.
We said that before that.
and then they all want the high school fields. Let's give high school stuff up top with Brooks. But the football, they want that.
Hand them off to the schools when they get that call.
Yeah.
So just go to the.
No, it's just
I mean, it's interesting because Jane tried to get that field for soccer palooza, which they've had for years, and they were denied this year. So they're doing it in Milton Academy for a couple of days.
And I'll say this again. I know Milton Academy is stepped up, be above and beyond the field.
Yeah.
What they've given the town.
Right.
They really have. I mean, Everything we ask, they give. No, but Nick has said he has a connection up there, so. Talk with him and see what we can get from him. Do you?
Yeah, I feel like that's an opportunity.
Because also we're gonna have to get, I don't know who at Curry and who at Milton Academy, when we do this survey, they're gonna be going to those towns,
Yeah.
right? I mean, to those properties.
Yeah.
And we just don't want them showing up, unexpected, so we're gonna have to let Curry and Milton Academy know. When they're there just to
Yeah.
look at their facilities, correct?
Yeah, I think we should, like Kevin, we should reach out to some of those folks to let them know what's gonna happen. We have plenty of time before July
Yeah.
1. I wanna hit this thing July 1. That's why I want.
Yep.
But then maybe we can do some advanced connections, communication, because Gary Kelly, we want. Yeah, we need to have them in it, Curry, Milton Academy. I think those are the three.
Yes, yeah.
Those are the three. I'm not even sure. I don't remember if we included Bolton's or not.
I don't know if we included DCR.
We did. But it's interesting because on
On the
softball
RFP?
now, I've heard
The master
that they're
plan?
considering.
It is.
having a
It is,
permit up
it's
there
listed,
now for
but it
softball.
just says in quotation,
Because
DCR.
the field was redone. With the softball.
Yes, it was.
So they want to use that because we have our program and they need more fields.
And no storage up there. Yeah.
Which is a whole nother issue.
Not so bitch about the ride.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
But they supply the bases, correct, up there?
I don't think so. That's why I don't know. I don't know.
It's been a few years for people since they've been up there, so I don't know either.
Places aren't crowded.
No, I don't think they are. So that's the issue, right? So then if we can't store equipment there, that means we'd have to supply every team that goes there. I don't think we don't necessarily, for some of the other teams, that's a huge cost to us then. So, but I figured, I told them on the board, I was like, they're not gonna let you put in. No. We'll have to figure that out.
Oh, seeing the flat off, so. Nice to. Beautiful ball.
I've only been to the baseball field. I haven't seen, is it turf, the softball? Baseball's not.
I can't even use it that.
No.
No, just
I was up there, I passed it all the time.
So you live down.
Yes,
Into me.
Right.
Yeah.
Thought down and write that down.
For all the reasons, I think like we do all this planning and bring the right people on the road. Start talking.
What was the?
Well, it's under the control of the school.
Yeah,
That is
school.
school.
That
Not that-
was
I think they just have like, there's no policy.
No policy to anybody.
You say no to everyone unless you're all. Soccer, you're gonna pay them.
That's the issue too. Like they want money for that field.
They don't mind.
Crazy. And frustrating.
Well, we gotta, when we get our little guy, we'll start charging. Oh, you want practice chicken minutes?
Well, we should have some relationships that are understood that they should get the field.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. What
Have they been doing
done?
this in the
We
future?
have-
Yeah.
We're all kind of all together, right?
We should be.
Should be.
Yeah. It's frustrating. Like, I'll tell you.
Paul uses it in the summer. Pays.
Yeah, we just paid a $4,000 bill.
$4,000.
All in for the year or one program?
All one
For
time.
basketball.
No, for basketball.
Used to be in the gym for basketball.
It's not how it's. Very, what we're talking.
The gym rent.
The gym rental.
Oh, yeah.
Just one program.
Anything else, Kevin?
No, I'm good.
All right, quick, we just finished, the February vacation baseball clinic. We had 51 participants in that program. Brendan Morrissey, Greg Lannon, with the varsity coaches from Milton Academy and Milton High. Greg Lannon's in Milton High. They ran an excellent program. They brought in all their high school players to run it. We just staffed the check-in table. So it's 50-50 split. we covered the cost of the custodians, that was it. So, again, both parties can make money, that's how they make it, they bring in their players for community service. Otherwise, I'd staff it with our staff, and we have to pay our staff. So it worked out very well. I told them, the only way it's gonna work is we bring in their players. Spring basketball starts this Monday, close to 300 participants in that, ages, grades 3 to 8, boys and girls. Kevin and I are going on a field trip Tuesday. I think right now we're about 75 kids going. And I'm in the process now of getting ready for the summer. Urban area.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, 60 years old, jumping on. So, whatever. Summer programs, beginning, take shape. We have to lock things down now. Just get the summer program ready to go.
April vacation.
Some of the programs not till April and May. Yeah, I mean, he's letting us use it. There's gonna be some, I know there's gonna be some fees for this one.
Did you get my baseball last time?
You charge them, you charge a big group.
Charge everybody.
April.
We just booked the Easter egg hunt too, the Easter festival, 12th.
So, could we incur that cost? Probably. I'm just hoping maybe it's maybe $10 for a kid. I'm not sure what his rate's gonna be. He has to sit us down and let us know the rates before we put the program out there. But, it's a place to run it, and they know it. The best program in town. That's it for me. I think we should be very. Oh, yeah, the Easter egg festival.
In the cemetery
I just said,
on Holy Saturday. Oh, God. You'd have an uproar.
I forgot about that. That's huge. Easter egg festival.
yes,
Yeah, that's April 13th, so we'll probably.
April 12th.
Well, so we won't be here before a meeting. All right, we're still gonna have another meeting before that.
Yeah.
That's. All right, so
You guys have anything else?
Oh, next meeting.
If you, I should mention, Rob, if you want, I could maybe decide if you want to go that.
Yeah, that would be fine. I know I'm gone the second week. You'll be able to.
You told me your plate's gonna be full.
Yeah.
27th, 20th, 27th. I think that's my second open. When back in we separate from.
Make it done.
Day of
The day of.
What? Oh, it's the
Tuesday.
Yeah. That'll be your, you got two more in here.
Right,
Come on. Thanks
Thank you, guys.
Thanks again for doing all your work on this.
I will-
Ted can motion
Hold on.
to adjourn.
We're gonna-